I'm going to beat this drum because you refuse to take responsibility. Will you take responsibility for having made a mistake? Not to mention, many people would say break the law in participating in the Signal group chat that included a journalist, your wife, your brother, where classified information was shared.
Sir, every way I communicate is authorized.
Okay, if you want to say that. I have called for your resignation. I didn't think you were qualified before your confirmation, and you have done nothing to inspire confidence in your ability to lead competently. You broke the law in sharing classified information, and in doing so,
Welcome to Liberty Report USA. Let's take a look at what happened in the Senate today.
As a gentleman from California, Mr. Carbajal.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It shouldn't come as no surprise that I have serious concerns with both the deployment of the National Guard and the Marines to Los Angeles. I served in the Marine Corps. We are trained to be war fighters, not for crowd control. Everyone here should be alarmed that the president has sent armed forces into a city against the wishes of a governor and mayor. I am concerned this administration is purposely escalating the situation with this step and politicizing our armed forces in the process. Let's call it for what it is. It's political theater. Hegseth, are the Marines in Los Angeles ordered to protect property by any means necessary?
Sir, I would say the ICE officers and police officers being attacked is not political theater. The National Guard and Marines,
just yes or no. Just yes or no.
The National Guard and Marines have the full authority to protect federal ICE agents.
Yes or no.
Just,
can you just say yes or no? This isn't Fox anymore. Just yes or no.
They're there to protect federal agents and federal.
Another BS answer. Under the SRUF, the use of force, are Marines allowed to fire warning shots?
No.
Now that's more like it. Isn't that easy? Well, I'm going to beat this drum because you refuse to take responsibility. Will you take responsibility for having made a mistake? Not to mention, many people would say break the law in participating in the Signal group chat that included a journalist, your wife, your brother, where classified information was shared.
Sir, every way I communicate is authorized.
Okay, if you want to say that. I have called for your resignation. I didn't think you were qualified before your confirmation, and you have done nothing to inspire confidence in your ability to lead competently. You broke the law in sharing classified information, and in doing so, endangered the lives of our service members that you are responsible for. Your inability to hold yourself accountable makes you incapable to lead. This alone makes you unfit to be the Secretary of Defense. Secretary, do you think the United States should continue supporting Ukraine in its fight against Russia, a nation that is hostile towards the United States?
Well, as you know, sir, President Trump is committed to peace.
No, I just want yes or no answers.
Today, the United States has spent billions of dollars.
Yes or no? Yes or no?
Over years.
Just yes or no. Can I get a yes or no out of you?
We continue to send.
Come on.
Presidential drawdown.
It's that easy. Kindergartners can give me a yes or no. Yes or no.
Yes, we support peace in Ukraine.
Come on. Is this really leadership? You're an embarrassment to the United States. If Russia invades NATO allies, are you going to recommend to the president that we fulfill our Article 5 obligations?
Well, Russia has not invaded NATO allies.
No.
President Trump.
No. I reclaim my time. Yes or no? It's that simple.
There's Article 5 in NATO, which we recognize.
So is the answer yes or no?
That's what Article 5 is, yes.
Good. I'm glad you brought yourself to saying yes. Do you think political allegiance to Trump is a requirement for serving our nation, either in uniform or a civilian in the department?
I'm incredibly proud, as are millions of Americans.
No. Not today, Hegseth. Yes or no?
Congressman, you know what a silly question that is.
But silly enough to warrant a very straightforward answer. Yes or no?
We all support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
You know what? I'm not going to waste my time anymore. You're not worthy of my attention or my questions. You're an embarrassment to this country. You're unfit to lead. And there's been bipartisan members of Congress that have called for your resignation. You should just get the hell out and let somebody competently lead this department.
Mr. Chairman, do we not have any decorum in here?
Thank you very much. I yield my time.
Gentleman yields back. And I would urge everybody to remember and maintain a decorum suitable for this chamber with their further comments.
In the final minutes of this hearing, the room fell into a tense, almost electric silence as Representative Salud Carbajal delivered a confrontation that will echo far beyond the walls of Congress. His words were not measured. They were not softened. They were unfiltered, direct, and unmistakably personal. In front of the entire committee, Carbajal looked Secretary-designate Hegseth in the eye and called him what many in the chamber had only hinted at throughout the morning, an embarrassment to the United States. It wasn't just an attack, it was a culmination, the breaking point of a larger conflict over truth, authority, and accountability. Moments earlier, Carbajal pressed Hegseth with a simple demand. Answer questions directly, without evasions, without theatrics, without hiding behind talking points. But each exchange circled the same pattern, a yes or no question, followed by hesitation, diversion, or political spin. Carbajal, a former Marine himself, saw more than disagreement. He saw a fundamental failure of responsibility. And the hearing reached a dramatic crescendo as he accused Hegseth not only of poor judgment, but of crossing legal boundaries, sharing sensitive information in a private messaging group that included family members and a journalist. For Carbajal, this wasn't just a lapse. It was a breach of trust, a violation of duty, a moment where leadership faltered at the exact time it was needed most. This confrontation laid bare a deeper struggle within American governance, the battle between public service and political loyalty, between transparency and convenience, between the solemn obligations of office and the temptations of power. Carbajal's fury was not simply emotional, it was rooted in principle. He invoked the gravity of military command, the expectation that those entrusted with national defense must demonstrate clarity, honesty, and restraint. His message was unmistakable. Leadership is not about allegiance to any one man, but to the Constitution, to the rule of law, and to the people who rely on integrity from those who hold the highest offices. As Carbajal hammered Hegseth with yes or no questions about Ukraine, NATO, presidential influence, and the deployment of troops into American cities, the exchange became less about policy and more about the character of the republic itself. Should American service be tied to political loyalty? Should military force be used as a symbol in moments of national tension? Should leadership tolerate ambiguity in moments that demand clarity? In that chamber, we watched the stark difference between two worldviews, one insisting on straightforward answers in the interest of democratic accountability, and another speaking with guarded caution in the interest of political survival. And when Carbajal declared, "You're unfit to lead, you should just get the hell out and let somebody competently lead this department," he wasn't merely rejecting an individual, he was issuing a warning, one aimed at the entire system. For years, Americans have sensed something shifting, a frustration with institutions that feel distant, a distrust of officials who seem untouchable, a worry that politics has become more performance than purpose. This hearing distilled those anxieties into a single moment. It showed what happens when elected leaders confront not just policy disagreements, but the erosion of standards that once defined public service. It showed the cost of evasion in a nation hungry for truth. It showed how quickly confidence can crumble when responsibility is replaced with defensiveness. Yet, as dramatic as the clash was, it was also a reaffirmation of something essential: that accountability is still possible, that Congress still has a voice capable of cutting through the noise, and that the American people still demand answers, even when those answers are uncomfortable. There was no mistaking the weight of Carbajal's final lines. They weren't about political advantage, they were about the health of the republic. They were about the belief that leadership must be earned, not assumed. That authority must be guided by integrity, not proximity to power. That the armed forces and every institution that protects this nation must never be treated as props in a political production. And when he invoked decorum at the end, it wasn't a retreat from conflict. It was a reminder that even fierce oversight has rules, boundaries, and responsibilities. In the end, this hearing did more than expose disagreements. It revealed a profound question at the heart of American democracy. What kind of leadership do we expect? Leadership grounded in accountability, or leadership that hides behind rhetoric? Leadership that welcomes scrutiny, or leadership that avoids it? Every viewer must decide which vision they trust, and that is why this moment matters. It is why hearings like this must be seen, must be heard, must be shared, because democracy only survives when the people themselves bear witness to how power is used and how it is challenged. If you believe in oversight, if you believe in truth, if you believe that our leaders must answer to the people, not the other way around, then stand with us. Stay informed, stay engaged, and support our work as we continue to shine light on the moments that define our democracy. Subscribe to Liberty Report USA.